Baker, swim dodge, fires and scores! Skipping a step, behind the back! Pass, the extra look, and the goal! Shot on goal and good.
Thank you for joining us on Long Island here at Wantagh High School, the site of today's Nassau County lacrosse matchup between the 2001 state champion Wantagh Warriors and a rising Port Washington program here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. I'm Gavin Shaw, and I'm joined by a Nassau County coaching legend in Jim Casper, who played high school lacrosse at Massapequa, college at Hofstra, then coached at 5 different Nassau schools over the course of 38 years. And Jim, let's get right into it with our impact player of the game for Port Washington, a name that anyone who follows Nassau County lacrosse will know in Henry Haberman.
Yeah, he's heading to Loyola in the fall. He's an honorable mention All-American last year. He's a go-to guy. He draws the number one defenseman for every team that they play. And he's unselfish. He plays the game right. He does it the right way. And
then let's take a quick look at it for Wantagh. It's Danny Fizen. What do you think about his game?
He's a really good left-handed player, and he scores a lot of goals. And I'm looking forward to watching him too.
All right, so we are going to get underway right now. It's Port Washington in blue, Wantagh in their traditional home uniforms, white, black, and green, and a little bit of yellow in there, of course. And we are underway here at Wantagh High School. Port Washington comes into the game 3-1 on the season. Wantagh at 2-2. And Jim, you were telling me as we were talking about this pregame, you feel like these teams are pretty even.
Yeah, they're two really good programs, two good coaches. They're very competitive. I played against them for many years, and you got to come prepared because they've always been good. They've been two stable programs that are on top all the time.
As that shot is fired wide by Sean Carlo. Carlo, also a star running back at Wantagh, number 22 in white. Jim, you were telling me pregame, he's a guy on your All-American watch list.
Yeah, he's on the All-American watch list. I actually coached his dad at Baldwin in the 90s. So it's fun to watch him play now.
How did he compare to Sean as a player?
I just actually watched him walk through here. He was here before. He was really a good stud midfielder. He was my first captain at Baldwin.
There you go. So Bam Sakos threw that pass away for Wantagh. We get our initial look at the Port Washington attack. We mentioned Haberman, but there's a lot of other talent on the field for the Vikings. Luke Meyer headed to Dartmouth next year, just a junior, already with 6 goals on the season. Ben Krefitz, 11 goals, 4 assists, number 11 in blue, and he's in possession of the ball right now. See, attacks from X, tries to drop it in, and he does so. Port Washington on the board first.
He just outright beat the defenseman. They were in a circle offense to start with, and the X guy, he just ran by the defender.
What are the tenets of the circle offense?
Well, a lot of teams will go into a circle offense to move the ball around in high school, and then they'll get into a set after everybody touches the ball. So, a lot of teams are doing that. It's just getting everything settled down.
So the face-off is between Will Greaves for Wantagh, and it's Joe Braunschweiger for Port Washington. And Port Washington will gain possession on the infraction.
Again, they're in a circle offense again. Haberman's on the wing. Montour's playing man-to-man.
And on the attack, it's Luke Meyer. Meyer, a junior, but a guy who's very tough, both mentally and physically, ahead of his years in that respect. Now Gavin Jacobson tries to go low, and that was deflected out by Cavett Ireland, the star goaltender for Wantagh. Port Washington very good on the ride, but Wantagh, fantastic job on the clear that time around. Thomas Conway got it out, and a flag flies in. So it should be a man-up opportunity for Wantagh. Tyler Martini will send it out to Carlo. Carlo going to work. Carlo, a bouncer, too tall. As it was collected by the first-year goaltender, Bradley Hamroff for Port Washington.
Wantagh will go man up now.
Jim, were you able to catch what that penalty was?
No, I didn't see it. I thought the Port kid Haberman was offsides at the 50, but I didn't see the penalty on that end.
So it'll be Bam Sakos for Wantagh. His first name is Antoni, but everyone on the roster calls him Bam.
They're in a look like a 2-3-1 look. Port Washington is playing kind of passive.
Oh, great look. Danny Fizen connecting with Drew Palladino for the goal.
The high crease guy cut down to the ball. Nice cut. Good goal.
Or excuse me, that was Jake Martini on the finish. And let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, you can see that the crease guy cut down. I thought it was 42. It looked like he's 42.
Yeah, Jake Martini.
Yeah, and he made a nice cut. And man down defense. Sometimes you play the crease man to man. Sometimes you don't. So we'll see what happens in the future here with that.
So that is Jake Martini's 9th goal on the season. He leads Wantagh in that category. And the face-off scooped up this time by Will Greaves, so a fantastic start for the Warriors as they look to take their first lead of this ballgame. Pass dropped off inside, a shot, and what a save that time by Bradley Hamroff. Quick stick.
Technical foul. Wantagh goes man up again. Looks like they were offsides, maybe.
Wantagh able to take advantage of the extra man opportunity the first time around. It was a tough season a year ago for the Warriors. James Polo in his second year at the time and had a bunch of seniors quit the team, a bunch of injuries going back to football. They had COVID cases, only went 3-10, which, Jim, you were touching on this with Wantagh, traditionally such a powerful program. And James Polo, he's kind of upfront about it. He said, the reputation of the program took a hit, but I think we were better off for it because we got so many young guys playing, as Hamroff makes another nice save there, that this season those guys are a year ahead, and you can kind of see the payoff with Wantagh playing some really good lacrosse so far. Almost beat Cold Spring Harbor, almost beat Southside. And they're good to give this Port Washington that's really tough a heck of a game.
Yeah, last year was a tough year with a 10-week season, and you were playing 3 games a week, and the kids went right from football. Wantagh has a great football program. They went right from football into lacrosse, and it really hurt some teams.
Haberman trying to attack against the long stick. It's Noah Corwin. And now Haberman fires, or rather Danny Fizen fires and scores. So a 2-1 lead for Port Washington. Or excuse me, there's Andy Feinstein on the goal.
He got his hands free and took a nice shot from about 8 yards out.
Yeah, let's give it one more look there.
Yeah, he just beat his man. Nice shot. Good shot.
5th goal of the season for Andy Feinstein. And an early 2-1 advantage with 7.5 minutes to go in this first quarter for Port Washington. And Port Washington gets their first face-off win of the game. Wantagh aggressively trying to win the ball back, unable to do so. Couple of substitutions on for the Vikings. And going to work is Luke Meyer. Meyer trying to burrow his way inside. Ambitious pass as that one's knocked away from his intended target and taken up the other direction by Thomas Conway, who's just been fantastic on the clear. Now he looks for Martini. Martini, a lane to the cage. A bouncer hit off the crossbar. Oh, what a catch streaking up the field the other way. But Wantagh able to win the ball back on the ride. So up and down action as Fizen circles behind X.
Again, they're in a 2-3-1 set, it looks like.
And now Fizen goes to work.
As the X guy now.
Ball just pinging around, and a bullet fired to the back of the net for Wantagh. Sean Carlo ties this game up at 2.
Good left-handed shot. Started going righty, came back lefty. Good shot.
Yeah, one more look at it. Carlo, a guy with a whole lot of athletic ability, a Stony Brook commit, considered by James Pohl the best dodger on this Wantagh team. And, Jim, you got to see some of that speed and athleticism on display there.
You just saw that right there. You saw him change direction really, really well. And he had a good left-handed shot.
Will Greaves able to win possession for Wantagh. Wantagh still looking for their first lead in this one. Jake Martini will back off. Martini, a junior, one of 3 in the family on this Wantagh team, along with Dylan and Tyler. Tyler and Jake brothers. Dylan, a freshman, a cousin. And it's pretty cool for Port Washington head coach Isaac Neal. He grew up neighboring the Martinis household and watched all 3 of the kids play outside essentially every day for the last 10 to 15 years. And he said he's been talking a lot of trash to them all week and said it's so cool to finally get to go up against all 3 of them. As that's an ambitious attempt, deflected out by Hamroff. Man, oh man, that would have just been a ridiculous goal if it could have gone down for Nick Capelli.
Nice save by the goalie.
Port taking their time on the field. It's John McCarthy crossing into the offensive side.
Port again in a circle offense right now to start. They cut a guy down to the crease. They cut everybody inside.
Haberman's been quiet so far. Very unselfish player. Will not force the issue. Tic-tac-toe passing, and it's deflected by Cavett Ireland. The shot fired hard off the stick that time of Luke Meyer. And there's your guy, Henry Haberman, getting on the board with a bullet.
Nice dodge. Nice dodge. And I mean, he just flat out just ran by the defensive guy. You know, great goal for him.
Yeah, we'll take.
That's what he shows that he's a 5-year varsity player.
One more look at it, and just you see the separation at the end.
Separate, right.
Defenders with him, with him, and then one step, and he kind of escapes.
You just get your hands free, and you get a good shot.
What do you think makes a great offensive player, Jim? Is that kind of instinct? Is that just next level athletic ability, skill level, or a combination of all those things?
As an attackman, you want good change of direction. You want to be able to change direction quickly. You know, you need quickness. It's not speed. It's more quickness.
That ball won again by Wantagh. As Ireland will come a little further out of net than he's probably comfortable with. Mark Manier, the speediest player in this Wantagh roster, does a nice job on the clear. Jim, what are you seeing from Wantagh so far offensively?
I think I haven't really. They've been scoring their goals. They've been kind of unsettled, and I think they I want to see them get into an offensive set, and move the ball around and see what they did. They had a 3-man top before, which is good. See, a lot of times teams will go play a 2-man top or a 3-man top, and they'll make the defense change a little bit.
Manier will send that ball up top, and a bouncer sent in by Tyler Martini. What a shot for the eldest Martini on the All-American watch list, showing why there.
See, 22 needs to get his hands on him. When a midfielder dodges down the alley, you need to get your hands on the guy and draw and push him away from the cage and cut down his angle. That didn't happen there.
Martini, a Binghamton commit, showing off his skill set there. And Wantagh just dominating in the face-off circle now. Jake Martini trying to find a gap, double-teamed, and he's dispossessed. Beautiful check by Ben Krefitz.
Good ground ball by Haberman.
Haberman's one of those guys who, at least at the high school level, Jim, doesn't really have an obvious weakness, but then charging off the bench for a big-time check in his own right, and I think an illegal check was Thomas Carlo, Sean's younger brother.
Port will be man up here.
Let's take another look and see where the penalty was there.
He just ran up his back. He just pushed him down. One minute illegal check. Wantagh will be up.
An excellent opportunity for Port Washington to regain their advantage. Again, Port Washington 3-1 on the season. They had an opening 16-11 loss to Northport, but since then have knocked off Kellenberg, came back from an 8-3 deficit to beat MacArthur, and then a 12-8 win over Long Beach.
Port's in a 1-3-2 set.
And what are you trying to do here defensively to hold up against the extra man?
You're trying to stay as tight as you can, but you can't be played too loose. You got to go out and play a guy a little bit. But you're trying to stay as tight as you can.
Bouncer sent off the ankle that time of a Wantagh defender. It hit Troy Donahue. As the Warriors try to hold up, down a man. Krefitz redirecting the ball.
Port's changing the sets. They're changing people, so they're making the defense rotate.
Feinstein thought about firing. Haberman, unselfish offense. That bouncer sent wide by Gavin Jacobson.
Yeah. Good man down defense by Wantagh right there.
Holding up and riding out the penalty. Krefitz. Ball movement and saved by Ireland. Ireland a year ago knew he wasn't going to start over Cole Dexter, so Wantagh played him at defensive midi, and he did a fantastic job there. This season came in, said he wanted the goaltending job and won it. Oh, and there's a good look, and then a second shot as Hamroff got two deflections. And right in front of net that time was Will Greaves, just unable to put that ball home. Or excuse me, it was Drew Palladino in front of net. And now Haberman bullying his way to the cage and knocked down inside. Krefitz up to Meyer. Meyer off the mark. Nice catch on the clear for Michael Alfiero. And now Jake Martini goes to work. A face dodge and a save. Well done that time by Hamroff.
Great save by the goalie.
Up and down action so far. A lot of pace for both sides.
Tempo is good. It's good. You like to see high school games like that.
Port Washington certainly showing off some patience offensively.
Circle offense again to start with. And wait till they get their guys in.
Haberman playing catch with John McCarthy. McCarthy looked like he was open in the center for a second there. Haberman, a Loyola commit. Loft pass inside, a spin and a hit. What a move for Henry Haberman.
Great goal by Haberman. He had to catch it right-handed and turn around and shoot it right. Great goal. Excellent goal by a really good player.
John, it feels like the great players always have this intuitive sense for where the goal is. Look, Haberman facing the opposite direction and just able to turn, and there was no doubt in his mind where that upper left corner was and where he had to put the ball.
Right. Great play by Henry Haberman.
John, you were telling me before you watched a lot of lacrosse so far this year. Is Haberman one of the better guys you've seen this season? Jim, sorry about that.
Yeah, he's one of the best. He's one of the guys. He's certainly in a mix for an All-American spot.
So that marks the end of quarter number 1, a 4-3 lead for Port Washington over Wantagh on a last-second goal by Henry Haberman. And we'll take a break on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
So back to it, and we're going to take a quick look at the Port Washington starting lineup. We've already talked about a couple of these guys. Henry Haberman, of course, but Ben Crefford scoring the opening goal of that game. Someone else that stood out to me. And then, Jim, you were mentioning Gavin Jacobson, another guy on your All-American watch list.
He is also on the All-American watch list. And, he's a really good midfielder, solid player. And, hopefully he keeps having good games. He'll be there at the end.
And let's take a quick look at the Wantagh starting lineup. A lot of balance so far for the Warriors in this game.
Yeah, I think this is an even game going into the game. I mean, so it shows on the scoreboard. So Wantagh's got a lot of balance. He's got a lot of guys that can play. And they're doing a good job.
Yeah, already have a goal from a guy, Jake Martini, who's not even in that starting lineup. So that gives you an idea of the Warriors' depth.
Right. They're playing 6 midfielders, which is good in high school. If you got 6 guys that can play, that's a good thing. Eventually, you wear down the other team. So, very impressed with both teams.
It is Joe Braunschweiger going up against Will Greaves in the circle. Will Greaves dominant in that opening quarter. Big part of Wantagh being in this game in the early going. And a real scrum here to open the second, and emerging from the pack in possession is Anthony Belomo.
Really good ground ball. When you get 50-50 face-offs like that, you need the guy to wing guys to pick the ball up.
Port Washington coming off of a program-defining season a year ago. They knocked off Massapequa. They beat Garden City. They beat Farmingdale, ultimately losing to the Dalers in the second round of the playoffs. A game they felt like they could have won, just kind of had a bad day. But this is a program that is on the rise under Isaac Neal in his 5th season as head coach.
Port's doing a lot of cutting offensively, changing spots, being patient.
John McCarthy circling. Didn't quite have an angle to net. Meyer, that's a tough shot, and it's knocked away by Ireland. Ambitious attempt that time around by Luke Meyer. And losing the possession and giving the ball back to Port Washington was Stephen Mendolia. Or Mendolia, excuse me. Griffiths face dodge, trying to circle around, and Ireland had a beat on him.
Good save.
Carlo on the clear.
That's what Sean Carlo does best right there. Runs the field. Plays good defense.
Him, Tyler Martini, Nick Capelli, all guys who, and Mark Manier, all guys who have played running back for the Wantagh football team. So a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism on this Wantagh side.
That kind of goes together. If you got a good football team, you're going to have a good lacrosse team too. A lot of the kids play both sports.
Garden City seemingly proving that true year after year. Pass in front of net, and what a check and dispossession that time for Port Washington. That was Matt Freeman, the honorable mention All-American, breaking that play up.
Another guy on the watch list, on the All-American watch list.
Yeah, Freeman, not a name we've mentioned a ton, but arguably the right up there with Haberman for the most important player on this Port Washington team. Isaac Neal says he's their leader. You look at the Port Washington roster, everyone has a position next to Matt Freeman. It just says lacrosse player. One of those guys who can do a little bit of everything. Haberman putting on some speed, shooting across his body and wide. Griffiths was in good position, so the Vikings will maintain possession.
Port's been pretty patient offensively. I mean, they're moving the ball, rotating guys around.
Jacobson was looking for an angle. Haberman, that would have been an ambitious attempt.
Wantagh's in his zone now. Wantagh's playing zone.
James Polo likes to mix things up defensively as that shot was deflected off the stick of Belomo. And a timeout taken by Isaac Neal, not liking the direction of things offensively for the Vikings. So we'll keep it right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And we want to remind you some of the services we offer for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and those include college recruiting videos, so you can get custom editing effects to help your players stand out. You can choose your own music, and a link for college coaches to check it all out. So why sign up? It saves you money in college tuition, helps you land a spot on a college team, and you can stand out from the competition. And if you mention this ad, you'll get 10% off, so you can contact us at 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. So, Jim, we've noted it a couple of times, but very even start to this game. And there was some notion that, for Port Washington, this is sort of the year for their program. Isaac Neal was saying that he wished he had gotten an opportunity to coach this team in 2020, the year that the season was canceled due to COVID, because he just had so many talented young guys. Luke Meyer was a freshman on that team. Henry Haberman was just a sophomore. Ben Griffiths was a sophomore. Gavin Jacobson was a sophomore. And there was something to the notion that this class that had been playing together since third grade was the group that was going to turn around the Vikings program. And now Port Washington's sort of time to execute, and they're going up against this Wantagh team that's young but a really proud program. Makes for a very interesting matchup.
Very interesting matchup. If it's an even game, Port Washington's in the A division, and there's four really good teams in that division. So hopefully they'll be able to do what they did a couple of years ago.
Wrapping around net is Griffiths, who scored the opening goal of the game for the Vikings. McCarthy trying to attack and ducking in and finishing that time. Another goal for Port Washington as they take their first 2-goal lead of this game. On the finish for the Vikings, it was John McCarthy.
Again, he got his hands free and just stuck the ball on the goal. The defender's got to push him out and get his stick on his stick, on the offensive guy's stick, and push him out.
Wantagh has gotten the better of the face-offs. Again, hasn't stopped Port Washington from taking an early lead. A good job on the ride last time to get it, and this time a clean win for Port Washington. And that pass just skimmed in front of its intended target. It was Sean Cassidy in front of the net. Wantagh, nice work on the clear. Thomas Conway's been a consistent option for Wantagh as a sophomore, working the ball up the field. Dylan Martini, a freshman, into the game for Wantagh. Number 7 in white, provides a change of pace for the Warriors.
Again, circle offense to start, and now they're cutting into the set.
Sean Carlo to Martini. Martini deterred. And now we'll attack again. So what's Port Washington doing defensively here? Looks like a little bit more of a zone look or a hybrid look.
They're playing man-to-man, and they're playing aggressive. You know, and the second guy is taking a couple of steps. He looks like they're going from just went adjacent that time. 28 tried to double, then he went back to his man. But they're playing a pretty aggressive defense.
A hard slide to deter Martini.
Now he's got a mismatch.
Fizen going to work against it. Shifts a pass inside. Bouncer, and it's saved again by Hamroff, the senior, having a great game. Hamroff already has about 6 or 7 saves, only averages 8.5 per game on the season.
Good play by Wantagh there.
Wantagh very aggressive on the ride, trying to win the ball back. And pays off that time. Manier. And now things will slow down for a second for James Polo's squad. Final 5.5 minutes of this opening half. Port Washington leads it by 2 in this battle of Nassau County powers. Carlo. Oh, that one hit the crossbar.
Good shot, though.
Yes, you felt like maybe an inch away from being in. Hard run sends 2 players colliding into the bench. Fortunately, everyone seems to be okay. Now Martini trying to take advantage of the chaos, cannot.
Martini just showed his athleticism. I mean, he's got really quick feet.
A 1,000-yard rusher this year for the football team. Oh, and a beautiful stretch of passing from X as Sakos hit Carlo. Carlo couldn't finish. That ball nearly saved by Dylan Martini, but now picked up by Matt Hillman. Taken up by Stami Gardis.
Great job by Wantagh there. Great job riding by Wantagh.
That is an emphasis this year for James Polo, and clearly it's working well right now for the Warriors. They don't take any clear for granted. Jake Martini scored the opening goal of this one. We'll redirect out to Nick Capelli, and it's fired in. And it's a goal for Wantagh.
I believe it hit off the goalie's stick. We'll see.
So it's Jake Martini to Capelli, who got it to Tyler Martini for his second goal of this game.
No, it didn't hit off his stick.
And on the infraction, it'll be Wantagh possession. Showing off some patience. Final 4 minutes of this first half. Jake Martini. That one long sock. Trying to bounce it outside. He's being tracked by Anthony Bellomo. Capelli harassed. Spinning and finding some space. Nick Capelli. The Warriors look to generate mismatches and go after them.
Wantagh's being patient now, too.
Jake Martini, team high 9 goals this season for Wantagh.
With a short stick on him.
That's exactly the matchup James Polo wants. Couple of dodges for Martini, like a coach out there on the field, according to Polo, but not that time. Throwing it away, the interception by the long stick, Matt Freeman.
Great play by Freeman.
Freeman headed to Boston University next year. Approaching the final 2 minutes of this first half. Port Washington looking to add to a 1-goal lead. Port Washington again 3-1 on the season. Wantagh 2-2. But both losses came against high-level competition in Southside and Cold Spring Harbor. I think that surprised a lot of people that Wantagh played Cold Spring Harbor within a goal. Again, expectations were down a little bit after last season, but Wantagh, this is a different team this year, a very young group that got a whole lot of experience a year ago.
Yeah, Wantagh played them close. They played a good game. Cold Spring's a really good team.
Tyler Martini. There you see the running back skill set just weaving through traffic. A bigger kid, too, so there's an intimidation factor there when he's charging at you.
Yeah, right.
So, Jim, in this situation as a coach, do you like to hold for the final shot with just over a minute left, or do you just tell your guys get the best look?
You'd like to do that. You'd like to, if he's got a timeout left, maybe you want to get a timeout here, and when he gets into the, down to about 35, 40 seconds, maybe set up a play. But yeah, I mean, you don't want the other team to get the ball now. You want to take the last shot.
Dylan Martini winding inside then out. Manier, who packs a whole lot of speed, redirecting. Tyler Martini moving it on. Carlo. The wind picking up. Final 30 seconds of this opening half.
There's the timeout.
And Wantagh will set up one final play. We'll keep it right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And Jim, what are you telling your guys on both sides of the field in this timeout, in this situation?
I mean, defensively, you got to play aggressively. You got to play the ball hard. You don't want them. They're gonna run a play now. They're gonna do something, and they're gonna get the ball to Martini or one of the best guys, and they're gonna try to run a play to get that guy free. Could be off a pick. It could be a lot of different things. So you got to be careful of how you play it. And defensively, you don't want to foul anybody. You don't want to foul them, but you want to play aggressive and you want to make them make a play. Now, if I'm Port Washington, I may take Martini. I may lock him now.
Yeah,
I may lock him up because that way they can't get him the ball. It screws up their play.
When you say lock him up, do you mean face guard him or
face guard him?
Yeah.
Just put a guy in his face.
Got it.
You only got to play. You're playing the clock now. If you're Port Washington, you're playing the clock. You're playing 21 seconds. So all you got to do is make them move the ball for 21 seconds, and you're okay. So now if you take their best guy out of it, right, then that's going to screw up their play. Let's see what they do. 17 is the X guy. So we see 20. So Carlo's got the ball.
That's Tyler Martini at X.
I would lock him up.
Already has 2 goals on the day. Looking for a hat trick. It'll be Carlo to start things off. Carlo.
Off a pick.
And coming off a curl, it's Fizen putting it in and tying this game up at 5. He called it, Jim.
He came off a double pick. That was their play, the double pick.
Almost looked like a basketball play with him curling around, going towards the net.
Two guys set a high pick.
Let's get a look at it right here.
2 guys set a high pick away from the ball, and he came off the pick. And
little jump shot there,
and he got a good shot off.
So is that the little hop on the shot? Is that fundamentally sound, or is that Fizen kind of putting his own little twist on it?
It went in the goal.
Yeah, so that's as long as it goes in.
Right.
So one final face-off, and with 15 seconds left, still an opportunity for either team to make something happen. Greaves, good knockback. Getting the ball to Jake Martini, and another timeout taken by Wantagh.
And they're going to try to do something now again, another play.
And this is, you were telling me before the game, Jim, you as a coach, you like to save, you said in the first half not as much of a priority, but in general.
This is fine.
Yeah, you like to save your timeouts for these crucial situations instead of using it a little earlier in the half to maintain possession. Now with 8.5 seconds left, you get 1 goal in the final 30 seconds, have a chance to just change the complexion of this game.
Correct.
And what are you expecting, or before we get to that?
I mean, they scored that goal because he took the timeout, the original timeout, and set the play up.
So what are you expecting from Wantagh this time around? Last time they run the double screen.
I don't think they can run the same play. I think they got to change the play. Now Martini never touched it. He stayed behind the cage and never touched it. So again, if I'm Paul Washington, I may want to take Martini out of it.
As a coach in this situation, are you generally trying to get it to your best guy, or do you want to kind of use it as a distraction?
With 8 seconds left, I need my best guy to try to,
make some magic.
You got 1 pass and a shot at 8 seconds to go. So now you defensively, what are you going to do? You're going to shut off the guy that's going to get the pass. That's what you want to try to do.
The brilliance of this Wantagh team is that there isn't necessarily a number 1 guy on a game-to-game basis. We mentioned it. Dylan Martini has 6 goals. Danny Fizen, that was his 9th goal of the season. Tyler Martini, he has 10 goals this year. Jake Martini has 9. There's a number of high-quality options. Sean Carlo, heck of an athlete.
See the way they're set up. They have 8 seconds left, so it's a pass and a shot.
So it's Carlo going to work.
Shot. You got to shoot it.
And it's out. Worked in. Tyler Martini fires wide with 1 second to go. And at this point, all you can hope for is some kind of lob in front of the net.
Right.
But presumably not enough time even for that. Fizen will try for it on the whistle. Throws it, and that is the half. 5-5 after 2 quarters, and very evenly played as the score suggests, Jim.
Exactly what I expected. 2 good teams, both even teams. 5-5 at the half. Very, very good game. Good game.
So we'll step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Heck of a finish coming up after halftime.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect sets and music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effects set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effects set to music to ensure a college.
Thank you for joining us back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Port Washington and Wantagh tied up at 5 after a half of play. Jim, you were telling me again and again pregame this is going to be a really good matchup, and you were 100% on point.
Yeah, they're both two even teams, and the tempo in the first half was very good on both sides.
What a face-off win by Greaves, just throwing it back between the legs. And there's that guy again, Tyler Martini, 2 goals in the opening half of play.
But the face-off has a lot to do with the guys on the wings, too. It's not just the guys in the middle. It's the guys on the wings on a 50-50 face-off. You want to get your wing guys in play.
And both coaches mentioned that ability to win the race to ground balls and face-off situations, probably the biggest key to this game. So they were certainly on the same page as you, Jim.
Ground balls are huge.
And, Jim, you were talking about this a little during halftime, but both these teams, you mentioned running that circle offense, but doing a good job not being stable as they throw and catch the ball, running into the passes.
A lot of high school kids tend to stand still in a circle because they know there's no offense. They're not really running an offense, and they're just moving the ball, and they end up not moving their feet.
Oh, what a run by Martini, finding some space and hitting that bottom right corner.
Great goal right there. Good goal. Going back to what I said, if they're in a circle offense, a lot of kids don't throw the ball. Don't throw the ball. They throw it away. It's a good goal. He just got his hands free and shot it. Good shot.
So that's a hat trick for Tyler Martini. He scored 3 of the last 4 goals for Wantagh, and that's 3 consecutive goals for the Warriors to take the lead once again in this game. Henry Haberman's been relatively quiet since getting that goal in the first quarter. Mukemeyer charging up, trying to find some room. Feinstein on the rip.
Good save.
Yeah, nice stick by Ireland to pick that ball up.
Good save.
Both goalies, I think, have had a really solid game so far.
Yep.
And what a job on the clear that time by Capelli. Capelli, and again, the fourth guy in that Wantagh running back rotation. It went Tyler Martini, Sean Carlo, Mark Manier, and Capelli. What a group of athletes. And then James Polo gets to benefit from all the offseason work they put in for football and lacrosse, as that shot fired wide by Jake Martini.
That certainly helps.
So how much communication is there between a lacrosse coach and a football coach? Because you're essentially, again, these guys, a lot of them are splitting 6 months a year lacrosse, 6 months a year football.
Well, I mean, the Garden City model actually answers your question. I mean, all the football guys coach lacrosse. I mean, that's why they're so good at both sports. The same guys are playing. The football kids play lacrosse, and the lacrosse kids play football. But it should be good communication, you know. And because in the summertime you got tournaments for lacrosse, and you got summer football, and you got all sorts of stuff going on, and kids get drawn all different directions. And basketball too, you know. Same thing.
So a man-up opportunity for Wantagh on the penalty. And we saw Port Washington do a good job defensively in the first half in this exact same situation, holding out for the full minute.
So when you're man up, you can do one of two things. You can change sets, or you can run plays, or you can do both. So we'll see what they do here.
Bam Sakos will start off on the ball.
They're in a 3-3 set. It's a 3-3 set. Everybody's in front of the cage. And they're going to rotate. They're going to wheel it. They're going to bring that guy out, and then the next guy gets it, and then 42 is going to be on the wing. He's right there. He was open there for a minute.
Palladino fires and scores. Big-time rip from the senior.
Yeah.
For his second goal of the season.
Good shot. Good hard shot.
Let's take another look at it. That's 4 straight goals now for Wantagh.
Yeah, I mean, good goal. He shot it from the 20-yard line.
What do you think's changed in this game? It seemed like Port Washington was starting to separate a little bit, and then since then Wantagh has just dominated.
Yeah, I mean, Wantagh's got the tempo going for him. That's the big thing.
Will Greaves committing an infraction that time, so Port Washington a chance to make this a 1-goal game as they face their biggest deficit of the night. Henry Haberman trying to put his team on his back, and that one hit off the crossbar. Oh, man, inches away from a second goal.
You got a good shot off. Good save by the Port player.
Yeah, it was Matt Freeman there. the honorable mention All-American a year ago. Haberman, that's too much space for the star, but Ireland able to knock it up.
Good shot.
As TJ Carlo, number 10 in white, checks in defensively for Wantagh. As does Troy Donaghy. Feinstein circles. Krefitz, who had a nice goal earlier. Haberman, unselfish. Jacobson thought about firing. Now back to him.
Good movement.
And Haberman has some room and skims it wide. Good positioning by Krefitz, who will keep possession with the Vikings. Krefitz aloft in front of the net, and it's picked off. Quick stick by Ireland again, but now he nearly throws it away before it's scooped up and saved by TJ Carlo.
Great ground ball by TJ Carlo.
TJ Carlo triple team, dispossessed, but it looks like Capelli. It is Capelli will take it the other way. Capelli had a man in front of net just waiting for that ball. Was Donaghy wide open for seemingly an hour, but Capelli didn't see an angle for the pass. And, Jim, I got to imagine you have a long stick like that, like Donaghy. He doesn't get a chance to score a lot of goals wide open in front of the net. He's just screaming, come on, this is my opportunity.
Well, a lot of offensive guys are a little bit hesitant about throwing a ball to a pole.
Yeah.
You know, and that happens too. But, yeah, he was wide open.
So Wantagh up by 2, a chance to take their time on offense. Fantastic finish to that first half for the Warriors. The timeout to set up that game-tying 5th goal. Manier. Oh, great dodge. And a shot is saved by Hameroff.
Great dodge, good shot, good save.
Hameroff, a first-year starter in goal as he replaced the reigning Nassau County Goalie of the Year in Pat Kenny. He's done a great job in that capacity. Hameroff went up to Isaac Neal at the team dinner next year, and knowing that Port has developed this great tradition at goalie, the last 2 Nassau County Goalies of the Year, said, I want to be that next guy. And he said, all right, prove it to me. Just worked incredibly hard all offseason watching film in the weight room and has turned himself again into the guy at that spot that's turning into a position of strength year in and year out for the Vikings. Haberman and a skimmer will go down for Gavin Jacobson.
Great shot by Jacobson. It's almost impossible to stop that shot because he lowered his stick down and the defender had his stick up, and he couldn't make the check.
Gavin Jacobson, the Binghamton commit. Jim, a guy you were talking to me about a little bit pregame, saying he's on your personal All-American watch list. And we should mention that matters because you're on the committee this year to help figure that out.
Yeah. He's a good player.
A vocal leader, one of the 2 best passers on the team for Port Washington. Another win for Greaves, who's at about 60% on the year on his faceoffs, maybe even a little bit better than that tonight. Looking like we might get some inclement weather at some point during this game. Expected to start raining about 7 p.m., hopefully just about done by then.
It's starting to get a little dark right now.
Martini already has 3 goals in this one. Throwing out a couple fakes, trying to find an angle. Well defended, though.
He had the short stick, too. Good job by the defender.
Anthony Belomo tailing him. Now it's Capelli. Pushed out. I like the patience we're seeing from Wantagh, though. No one's taking a bad shot. They're willing to just keep it going.
Now he's got the short stick behind.
Now Capelli makes his move, a couple fakes. Again, can't find an angle. Martini couldn't handle. Sakos recovering the loose ball. Sakos, a really selfless player. The main utility on offense to draw slides, kick it off, makes a nice pass right there. Palladino trying to spin towards the net. Couldn't find an angle. Hamroff coming out of net, trying to win the ball. And it'll be Port Washington possession. Do you like that move by the goaltender to come out of net there?
Yeah, he had it. He did exactly what he's supposed to do.
And a nice pass to set up some transition for Port Washington, trying to attack an unsettled Wantagh defense, but Wantagh gets back quickly. Haberman circling around. He's dangerous. Haberman diving in, can't finish. Haberman had a fantastic goal in that first half, but by and large, a tough afternoon into night for him. Hunting for spaces. Krefitz. Couple fakes put on by Meyer. Meyer misses a point-blank shot. So many options offensively for Port Washington. Wantagh has done a good job tracking all of them.
Wantagh's playing good defense.
I'm sure this is just true in lacrosse in general, but specifically against Port Washington, it feels like you can never really relax defensively because every guy on the field is a threat. 3 or 4 guys heading to Division I, you got to have constant vigilance, but we've seen that from Wantagh so far as they force a turnover here.
Yeah.
And charging up the other way with it, Thomas Conway, who has done that
Good
over
pass.
and over again, getting the ball up the field. Again, just a sophomore. Carlo, what ball movement, but Palladino juggled the pass.
Great look, though.
Absolutely.
Played right.
Sean Carlo on the near assist. And now a loose ball, and Dylan Martini going to come up with it. Has a beeline to the net, a bouncer, and it went off the foot of Hamroff. Palladino able to take the loose ball. And Wantagh can reset.
Wantagh has beaten Port to the ground balls.
To your point, Jim, I think this is what you've been noting again and again, but Wantagh feels like they're opportunistic about playing fast and getting out in transition when they have a chance, but then they're patient when the opportunity's not there.
Right.
It's a good balance. You got to give Port Washington credit as well. They've really settled in defensively in the second half after giving up 2 quick goals, and there's another example of it. Matt Freeman, the long pole, winning possession.
He looks like he's always in the right spot when it pick off a pass.
And it leads to transition the other way, and a hard shot off one of the bars, deflected out to Tyler Martini. Tyler Martini, a good look up the field. Bumbling, I should say, was Michael Alfiero, and timeout taken. Wantagh wanting to talk things over. We'll keep it right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And we'll remind you, if you want to bring your game to life, there's only one place to do it. It's the Varsity Media Sportscast. As you can tell if you're watching, we feature announcers, multiple cameras, instant replay, and graphics. It's a great option for rivalry games, senior day, general promotion of your team. And if you want a chance to play a game, you can play a game on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You can contact us to book a sportscast at 516-403-2050 or visit varsitymedia.net. So, Jim, what do you think of that timeout by James Polo? I thought a good opportunity to kind of slow things down and regroup, but you were telling me earlier, second half especially, you really like to save your timeouts.
Second half in a 1-goal game, you really want to try to save your timeouts until the end of the game. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a minute and 19 seconds left in the quarter, and he felt he had to take a timeout, so he took it. So
a good
we'll
look
see
at
what happens.
James Polo in his third year as head coach. He graduated Seaford High School in 1997. He played a year of lacrosse at SUNY Brockport. began student teaching at Wantagh in 2002. He was the JV head coach for 9 years and replaced John Kufo in 2019. And this is a Wantagh program we noted, perennial contenders. They won a state championship in 2000. They lost to Garden City in the county final in 2010, and Cold Spring Harbor in 2018. So a Wantagh program that's always good, but still trying to regain the heights of that 2001, state championship team.
So let's see what Wantagh came up with here on their timeout. Got a 3-man top right now. Got a 2-1-3.
Jake Martini looks to go to work with a couple of dodges. Zips a pass inside, and a good look is denied. Manier fired it right into the waiting stick of Hamroff. Jump pass, well placed up to McCarthy. Numbers for Port Washington. McCarthy the dump off. Haberman the extra pass. Fake put on by Feinstein, and Wantagh recovers defensively. But now Meyer will fire, and it's denied by Ireland. Great sequence for Port, but Cavett Ireland has just been rock solid in net for Wantagh.
See if they get it to Haberman now.
Final 15 seconds of this third quarter. Haberman, the star, held to just 1 goal. Meyer double teamed. Pass shot zipped right into the waiting glove of Ireland. Final seconds, a loft up the field, and that'll do it. Wantagh holds strong defensively to end the third quarter.
Good job by Wantagh right there.
So we'll step aside and head to the fourth, a 1-goal game. The Wantagh Warriors trying to knock off the Port Washington Vikings next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting.
So we want to remind you on the Varsity Media Sports Network, we also offer college recruiting videos. You can get custom editing effects to help your players stand out. You can get your own choice of music and a link to send out to college coaches. So why sign up? Gives you an opportunity if your kid can get a scholarship to save money on college tuition and help land a spot on the team of his or her choosing. And you can stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media Sports Network college recruiting video. If you want one, you can contact us at 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. And if you mention this ad, you get 10% off. A 1-goal lead for Wantagh over Port Washington. Wantagh has played exceptionally well against high-level competition. Southside and Cold Spring Harbor, two of the best in their respective classes this year. 1-goal losses to each of them. And James Polo has said, look, I think when we're playing well and we're clicking, we're about as good as anyone in Nassau. It's just about finding that consistency. And at least so far today, Jim, we've seen that consistency on both sides of the ball from Wantagh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, 2 even teams. You know, Wantagh is in the C-D division with Manhasset and Southside and Cold Spring Harbor's playing in there now. They were a D team, but they're playing. So they're in a tough division. So hopefully they can keep playing the way they're playing.
A long stick Freeman, a couple of spinoramas to help work that clear up to Belomo. He'll center back to Haberman, and now Port Washington will slow things down again. Haberman, one of those guys who, despite his superstar status, doesn't force the issue. He's content scoring 1 goal. He's content scoring 5 goals as long as his team gets the win, and it's to his credit. But you got to expect Isaac Neal emphasizing that he needs to be aggressive, and he is right there tying this game up at 7.
Defensive guy's playing him well, and he inside rolled him right here. Okay, you got inside him. You want the defensive guy had to get his hands on him and push him in the crease if he could. Good job by Haberman, though. Great goal.
I think that was actually the third goal of the game for Haberman. He also had that
that
turnaround shot.
Yeah, right.
He's one of those guys. It just feels like his footwork is so good.
He's got great quickness.
Greaves getting the win on the faceoff. Can he survive the Port Washington ride? He cannot. Haberman trying to tack on another. Save by Ireland. Haberman picking it up just outside the crease, or nearly doing so. Wow, that was electric from Henry Haberman. A guy who can be quiet for a quarter or two and just pop off your screen. Meyer will reset. Port Washington looking for their first lead of this second half. Meyer, again, a junior, but already committed to Dartmouth. Obviously also an impressive kid academically. Haberman, Ireland deflecting that, or rather it just went wide of net, so it'll be Wantagh ball. And I guess the question, oh, wow, and there's a throwaway by Ireland, intercepted, and a run and a goal to net by Ben Creffitz. What a play by the basketball star. Poor decision there from Cavett Ireland, and great little fake out from Ben Creffitz. Creffitz also an all-county basketball performer, a first-year starter.
Bad mistake by the goalie. Kravitz did a great job. Good goal.
And Port Washington has their initial lead of the second half. I was about to say, I think the question for Wantagh closing out these games is, who is that go-to guy? As Greaves gets another big win there.
Good ground ball right there by the defender, by 12.
They have so much balance, but there isn't necessarily that one Henry Haberman type that you say, all right, that is the guy we need to get the ball to at a crucial situation. You have Tyler Martini, you have Dylan Martini, you have Jake Martini, you have Sean Carlo. It's all about balance. But who's going to take over? Carlo. Deterred by Belomo. Manier across the face of net. And it's Port ball.
That was close.
Port Washington lost a good amount of talent off of last year's team, an all-county face-off man in Elijah Edmonds, and we mentioned the Nassau County Goalie of the Year in Pat Kenny. But it was such a good group coming back with Haberman, Meyer, Creffitz, Jacobson, McCarthy. Of course, Matt Freeman defensively. Again, it's all about balance for this Port Washington side. Not to mention the star power of Haberman and Freeman, two guys, honorable mention All-American a year ago. So Wantagh had scored 4 goals in a row to make it 7-5. Now 3 consecutive for Port Washington, a game of runs.
Port Washington's going to be pretty deliberate now. They're not going to be in a hurry.
Just under 9 minutes to go in the game. Haberman looking for his 4th. Haberman at 15 goals, 20 points on the season. Meyer's been quiet today. Deterred by Jake Martini. Now it's McCarthy, or rather Jacobson, losing the ball. Able to tip it. Feinstein got a stick on it, but it will go back to Wantagh.
Good defense by Wantagh.
Capelli putting on a move to cross midfield. Oh, a late near deflection by Haberman. Doing a little backside chasing from his attack spot. Tyler Martini quiet since early in the third quarters. That ball slips through, and Sakos, nice stick work to score.
He was trying to throw that ball to Carlo, and it went through, and the other guy picked it up. One picked it up and scored.
Bam Sakos, that's just his 4th goal on the season, tying this game up at 8.
See, Martini tried to throw it to Carlo, and Sacco picked it up and put it in the cage.
And Jim, as a coach, you got to love players like that. Kind of an improv situation, not necessarily something you're coached to do. Loose ball and just having the instincts to grip it and score it.
He was in the right spot, picked the ball up, scored the goal.
And a big face-off win this time by Alex Papagalis. Krefitz will redirect outside. Papagalis, the backup face-off man for Port Washington. He's done a good job. Haberman finding space, and Ireland diving to save that shot.
Good play.
Jake Martini up to his older brother Tyler. Again, a lot of bragging rights on the line with Isaac Neal living about 3 doors down from the Martini brothers, and of course the young cousin Dylan. He's saying he comes home every day the last couple of weeks and said, hey, I'm going to put a short stick on you guys. I don't even have to worry about you. Tyler Martini has obviously proven that wrong, but certainly going to be a fun dynamic the next couple of weeks after those games. But those two families very close. Isaac Neal saying he gets out to watch the Wantagh football games, to watch the Martini kids. Really, really cool that he gets to coach against them now. Face dodge put on. Capelli a couple moves. Oh, man, that would have been a heck of a run. Sakos snags the loose ball, fresh off a goal. We'll reset up top. Martini thought about a long shot for a second. Instead, will run in and score. Tyler Martini, his 4th goal, and Wantagh back up ahead.
Great goal by Martini. He stepped up and he hesitated and made the defenseman step to his right, and then dodged off him and scored. He had that little hesitation move, and that caused the defenseman to be off balance.
Martini, the hardest shot on the team, according to James Polo, and you saw it in action that time.
Another ground ball from Wantagh.
James Polo said winning this game would be about doing the little things. That has proven true. And now Wantagh, with 5.5 minutes to go, can take their time. Remember, the Warriors just 1 timeout left. That first timeout spent with about 1.5 minutes left in the third quarter could loom large, as this game looks like it'll come down to the closing minutes.
We'll see.
Jake Martini hunting for space, firing wide, as he was checked in the back as he shot. Possession will stay with the Warriors. Manier putting on a move. Resetting up top to Jake. Inside and deterred by Hamroff. Oh, wow. The first-year goalie has stepped up big in this game for Port Washington.
He was wide open on the pipe, and the offside defenseman didn't get there. He didn't slide over.
A golden opportunity for the freshman Dylan Martini, and Hamroff standing on his head, making a big stop. Carlo moving it along to Jake Martini. Shot wide, Dylan Martini in good position. Must be such a luxury as a coach to have a family with those kind of athletes in your area. You say, all right, just keep churning out brothers and cousins, and we'll be set for a while.
Well, when they fool around outside and they have catches, and all three of them will get better because they're playing against each other.
Sakos trying a little turnaround.
You always have somebody to have a catch with now, So, I'm sure growing up that's what they did, and that's what made them good players.
Isaac Neal, to your point, Jim, you're 100% right. He said basically every time I've come home for the last 9 years, I've seen one of the Martinez or two of the Martinez outside working on their games. Whether it's football or lacrosse, they're always involved. Is that pass too high for Sakos?
Yeah,
So it'll be Port ball with 4 minutes to go. And you got to figure we'll be getting a healthy dose of Henry Haberman for Port Washington over these final 4 minutes. Belomo working up that far sideline on the clear. Haberman tracked out wide that time by Wantagh defensively. And there's Haberman. Trying to attack the long stick. As he's tracked by Steven Mendolia. Meyer, pass fake. And hit, and it'll be another man-up opportunity for Port Washington. But first, they have to finish off this string of possession. Feinstein, he is a goal on the game. Haberman lofts a look inside. McCarthy, extra pass. Jacobson brings it out. And another flag. Crossfield look. Jacobson, a ground ball, will bounce wide. But two consecutive flags. So it'll be a big-time advantage for Port Washington.
Looks like they got a cross-check.
We'll take another look at that second penalty.
On the first penalty, looks like a cross-check. Yeah, that's a cross-check there, right there. He was up in his head. He got him up in the head.
So with 2:44 to go, Port Washington will have a two-man advantage.
So Wantagh's got to play a box defense now. And 4 guys in front of the cage, like in a box. They're in a box right now. Don't go behind the goal. Stay tight.
Haberman centering to Jacobson.
In a 3-3, running a wheel.
Port showing off some patience. Again, Wantagh has done a good job throughout the game holding up in these extra man offense situations. Pass back out to Haberman. Feinstein throwing it wide. Wow. Oh, wow. Saved by Jacobson. And Port cannot take advantage.
He can't be the one to touch it.
Down by a goal, up 2 men. They don't even get a shot off. That feels like a back-breaking possession for Port Washington and maybe a game-saving one defensively for Wantagh. Ambitious pass and a bad idea intercepted. So now Port will have a second chance. Jacobson. Haberman. His pass is deterred. As Wantagh now down just one player. And now at even strength. Shot put on net and in by Andy Feinstein. With 1:37 to go, we're all tied up at 9. So it seemed like Wantagh had escaped Jim Casper, but instead, Port Washington at the last possible second of that penalty able to tie this game up.
It's very difficult to play man down defense when you have 4 guys because you got to go in and out and it's really hard. And then they bring the 5th guy. Then when you get your 5th guy back, it screws up the defense a little bit more, and they got a good shot and scored.
It's hard on the fly to reincorporate that
it's
fifth
hard
guy.
to reset. Man-down defense, you got to play 3 different defenses.
So a crucial face-off here. Greaves able to send it out, but he's the only Wantagh player in the vicinity. And Greaves comes up with it. What a win for Greaves, and there's the final timeout of this game taken by James Polo. And let's take an opportunity to take a look at some of the upcoming lacrosse sportscasts we have on the Varsity Media Sports Network. On the girls' side of things, on Monday, I'll be on the call for that one. St. Anthony's, one of the powerhouses in Nassau County, taking on Wantagh. Southside against Farmingdale. On the boys' side, St. Anthony's against Manhassett for the girls. And then 2 big boys' games, Kellenberg against Syosset on April 21st. And then a big Suffolk matchup, West Islip taking on Bayport Blue Point. Jim, out of those games, anyone in particular stand out to you? I'm really looking forward to Southside against Farmingdale personally.
That'll be a good game. 2 really good teams.
And St. Anthony's against Wantagh, 2 programs on the girls' side of things, always very high level. St. Anthony's, man, oh man, they've taken over the sport on both offense and defense. And for these 2 teams, let's take a look at Port Washington's upcoming schedule as they face Uniondale, Southside on April 21st, Massapequa on April 27th, and Syosset on April 29th. And Jim, I think that tells you just how crucial of a game this is for Port Washington, given how challenging that upcoming schedule looks.
Those 3 games are big-time games.
And similar deal for Wantagh. I mean, Massapequa, a tough game. Things get a little bit easier, but Plain Edge went undefeated last year at their level.
Plain Edge was very young last year, and they're playing well.
Got beat by
Joe Ancona's the coach. He's doing a great job.
So what do you think James Polo's emphasizing in this huddle? Well, 1:27 to go.
You know, you want to control the ball again, and you don't want to give them the ball. You don't want to lose the game. The worst you can do is tie it at the end. You know what I mean? You're not trying to lose the game. If you're Port Washington, you're playing the clock. So you want to move the ball around, and you want to get yourself a good shot. Be patient and make sure you take a good shot.
Earlier this week, we had a fantastic game between Massapequa and MacArthur that finished 10-9 with a last-second goal. Will history repeat itself? We're about to find out. Wantagh looking for a season-defining win. Port Washington looking to continue their hot start and move to 4-1. Stakes are high for either side. Tyler Martini backing way out.
So if I'm Port Washington, I got to make them do something.
Martini,
I got to go play him.
Came into this game with 8 goals on the season. Already has 4 in this one. There. As he's trailed by Freeman, the All-American caliber defender. .45 seconds to go, and it's the game plan very clear for Wantagh. They want the last shot here. Either a win or overtime. Those are the 2 outcomes James Polo is trying to instigate.
You don't want to lose the game in this possession.
So Martini puts on a burst of speed. He'll reset up top to his cousin Dylan, and that one is, or rather his brother Jake, and that one's saved. Hamroff once again steps up. 20 seconds to go. A chance for Port Washington to make one final run up the field. And Port Washington not operating with a whole lot of urgency. Now down to 12 seconds. Luke Meyer nearly had it knocked away. Final 2 seconds and a turnover. So looks like we'll be heading to overtime unless there's just a miraculous goal for Wantagh, and that'll be it. We're getting overtime on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Free lacrosse for all of you watching. We'll take a quick break, come back with OT. Wantagh, Port Washington, all tied up at 9 at the end of regulation.
Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
So we wanted to remind you to join our team on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Let Varsity Media help promote your business. We have affordable rates, customizable packages to fit any budget. We will help grow your brand through our sportscast. You can call 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Contact us today to advertise. You know, Jim, when you got thrilling games like this, you want to advertise. People keep watching. Port Washington and Wantagh all tied up at 9. 4 quarters, not enough time to decide this game, and now 5 minutes, sudden death overtime to see if we can determine a winner.
I said in the beginning it was an even game. It's exactly what it is.
It'll be Will Greaves, who has been very solid at the face-off spot, going up against Alex Papagalis.
They got one timeout, too.
Who's been the better of the 2 core face-off options for Port Washington in this one. Again, a game of runs. It was 4 straight goals for Wantagh, followed by 3 consecutive for Port Washington. Then back and forth they went down the stretch, and a quick timeout taken by the Warriors to set up their offense. You mentioned with only 5 minutes. Do you like the quick timeout there?
I would have maybe waited till I got it in my offensive half of the field if I could have. But maybe I didn't see what was going on the front side of the field. Maybe there was no outlet. Because now the ball's on the 35-yard line. And so if you're Port Washington, you want to double it back. If the short stick picks it up, you want to put 2 guys on that short stick. And make them double the ball back the other way.
James Polo again in his 3rd season coaching Wantagh. And it was such a tough year for this program a season ago. Again, had a bunch of seniors upset with the amount of playing time they were getting, leave the team, multiple injuries. But in turn, that got guys like Dylan Martini an opportunity. Tyler Martini had a chance to step up and take ownership as a junior. Jake Martini was a big guy a year ago. Sean Carlo had another season to improve. Thomas Conway, so developed already as a sophomore defensively. And it was this thing that in the moment, it was a real bummer if you were a Wantagh fan. But I think this year the reason this Wantagh team that's still pretty young, Jim, is so ahead of its curve is because all those young guys got those opportunities and kind of took those licks a season ago to be better today.
We played them twice last year. They were good. The young kids were good.
That ball run under by Carlo.
Good clear.
Carlo, a nice job of timing it out. Again, a first goal win situations. You don't have to play out the full 5 minutes. Who's going to be the hero? Carlo Martini thinking about it. Freeman, the All-American. That's a heck of a matchup between him and Martini. A little screen. Martini curling off it, but no room. Well defended by Port Washington all over that screen. Carlo recentering. Manier can't find the space. Carlo charges up and fires wide.
Good offense right there.
Good defense, too.
Good defense.
We saw Wantagh late in that first half have success with an off-ball screen. They tried an on-ball screen that time. But the slide was right there for the Vikings. Manier finding space. The bouncer goes in, and that's the ball game. Mark Manier, the hero for Wantagh.
He had the short stick. And just took him inside. He had a good shot.
Mark Manier had scored 1 goal the entire season coming into this game. What a spot to get his second.
Good left-handed goal right there.
And I love that for Port Washington. Everyone coming over to Bradley Hamroff and saying, hey, man, that's not on you. Hamroff played a heck of a game. tough way for it to end, but man, oh man, Jim, you called it, man. What a game.
A very good game. Excellent game. Two good teams. It's a non-league game. They'll both get better.
And you mentioned Wantagh, those two tough 1-goal losses. Just how big of a win is this for them? A young team the process has been good all season, but they finally get the result that they're looking for.
I mean, high school kids, a win like this just it makes everybody feel better. They're going to work harder in practice, and they're on a winning streak now.
And Port Washington 3-2 on the season, nothing to hang their heads at.
No.
For Isaac Neal's squad, just about everything in front of them. They are certainly going to be a contender in Nassau County. But for Jim Casper, for our fantastic producer, Nick Louisi, I'm Gavin Shaw, signing off on the Varsity Media Sports Network, a 10-9 win for Wantagh over Port Washington.